have. I mean, the fact that you have the dates, you know the name of the program and everything. Sometimes we find it difficult to cope up with things, but you know the exact things. You know what you're talking about, and that is why I think your channel is so important for people, who want to come to Canada because.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to our channel, Journey with the Yankyeras. And today I've got an amazing guest on the show. There's a new series that we are starting. We always talk about on this channel, we just want to go, everything has to be legitimate. So I've got a licensed immigration consultant from Canada who is going to join us today and walk us through the Alberta um, provincial nominee program. And so, without wasting much time, I will hand it over to Nav so that he can tell us a little bit about himself and what he does, and then we'll take it from there. Nav, thank you so much for joining us today.
All right, thank you, Paya. Thank you for inviting me on your channel. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm excited that your listeners, your viewers, will be able to get some information regarding Canadian immigration. My name is Navjot Singh Chane. You can call me Nav. It's a very long name, and
Right.
I am immigration consultant here in Canada. I've been working in the province of Alberta as a consultant since the year 2015.
Okay.
In fact, we will be completing 9 years at the end of this month in a couple of days. So,
Congratulations. That's good
thank
to
you.
know.
Thank you.
All right.
So, I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I'm licensed by the Government of Canada's authorized agency, CICC, which gives licenses for consultants to work in this field.
Mhm.
And we have lots of experience. We have brought thousands and thousands of clients to Canada and help them achieve their Canadian dream.
Right.
So that's what we hope to do with your followers as well, and help them come to Canada, educate them, and give them accurate information. My business is called Multi Immigration Services Canada. If you Google us, you'll be able to get more information. Our website is multiimmigration.com. We have a team of about 10 people right now, and we deal with all sorts of immigration applications, be it visitor visa, study visa, sponsorships, parents visa, express entry, LMIAs, work permits. So we will be able to answer any questions that your followers have, and then help them make an informed decision about their Canadian dream.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nav. So, as Nav mentioned, he is registered and licensed. And if you are looking for an immigration consultant in Canada, there is a regulatory body that provides licenses and regulates the work that immigration consultants do. And as you can see here on your screen, that is Nav, and his RCIC number, the license number and all that. And you can use the website that I'm going to put in the description section below, and you can definitely also verify for yourself, because any information that we provide on this channel, if you are watching us on TikTok or on YouTube, we want to make sure that you are also verifying, right? We don't want you to be in the hands of any agent that is going to end up scamming you. I want to assure you guys that he's a legitimate immigration consultant, and today he's going to talk to us about the Alberta Immigration Program. So Nav, can you talk to us about what is the Alberta Immigration Program?
Absolutely. Before I start, I do want to mention that I'm actually located in the province of Alberta, in the beautiful city of Edmonton, which is also the capital city of Alberta. And in fact, it's supposed to snow here today. So it does snow quite a bit. It does get very, very cold in this province. So, if I do get a chance, maybe I'll show people some snow video footage outside
All
as
right.
well. So,
Okay.
for the Alberta Immigration Program, we have AAIP. AAIP stands for the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, and they have streams which allow people to apply for their permanent residence, to apply for their provincial nomination, and make Alberta their permanent home. So the first stream we will actually talk about is the Alberta Rural Renewal Stream. So with the Alberta Rural Renewal Stream, you can actually apply from even outside of Canada. You do not have to be present in Canada to
Okay.
be eligible to apply. So that is the most important thing. People think that you have to first come and then apply for permanent residence.
Right. Okay.
So this stream has a number of designated communities assigned by the government of Alberta, um, where you have to basically find a job in one of those communities. And once you find a job, the employer will assist you with the rest of the process. For example, the endorsement letter. Now, what happens with the rural renewal stream is that you need 12 months of work experience, and that can be anywhere in Canada or outside of Canada. So, for example, if you're currently in Nigeria, Ghana, or
Mhm.
any country outside of Canada, and you have 12 months of working experience, you may be eligible to apply for the rural renewal stream while you are sitting at your home. And apply. You do not have to come to Canada first. I want to make sure that everyone understands that part.
Okay.
Now,
That's
the other thing about the rural renewal stream is that you do not need a skilled job. Skilled job in Canada means that it doesn't have to be a tier 0, 1, 2, or 3.
okay.
It can be a tier 4 or a tier 5 job. So, to
Right.
give you some examples, that if you are working as a food counter attendant in your
Mm-hmm.
country and you have 12 months of working experience, or if you are working as a sales associate in a cell phone store or a
Right.
clothing store. So that's a tier 4 job. So if you have experience in one of those fields in the last 18 months, then you
Mm-hmm.
meet one of the eligibility criteria for the rural renewal stream.
Dream. Okay.
And I know a lot of people may already be thinking about how to apply for these jobs. I'll be talking about that in a bit, but let me talk about the eligibility criteria.
Yeah.
So stay tuned if you're thinking that how to apply for those jobs. Um, Now, the other thing you will need is English proficiency, for which you will need a CLB level 5,
Mm-hmm.
which is equivalent to, if I talk about IELTS, you need a score of reading 4 and all other modules 5.
5. Okay.
And if you're going to go into a tier 4 or a tier 5 job, then you will need CLB level 4. So, the requirement for English proficiency is not very high. Like, there's no cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's not that if you score more, if your score is CLB 7, you will get extra points or anything as such, because that is the beauty of the rural renewal program, that there is no points. There is no cutoff, there is no draw. As long as you have the required documentation, you can actually apply for the provincial nomination program.
Okay.
Just like, unlike Express Entry, where people, they create the profile, they wait for the draws, and then they think, oh, what do I have to do extra? No, with this, there's nothing as such.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, because I think I know you'll be talking about the other streams as well, but it looks like with most of the provincial nominee programs, you would also need to have an express entry profile. That way, once you get like the job offer, then you're going to build up the points and the draw and all of that. So, I mean, I'm glad that you mentioned about the rural renewal stream that wouldn't require any express entry profile. Yeah.
Right. And no points, no cutoffs, no
Okay,
draws.
cutoffs. Okay.
Right. So if I become eligible today, I do not have to wait anything. I have to just go on the AAIP website, go on the portal, and apply.
Okay. That's good.
And yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people are actually moving from other province, from Ontario, from BC, Quebec, to Alberta because of this rural program, because it is very popular right now.
Okay.
And so that's why I want to talk about this first, since it's something that a lot of people want to apply for, and if they are eligible, then why not?
Right.
Now, the other thing I want to talk about with the rural renal stream is that some people think that, if they need a job in the same occupation in which they have currently been working. Now, that is the another beauty of this program, that you do not need the job in the same field in which you have work experience. You can actually change your job. You can
Okay.
actually change your tier as well. So if you do find a job in Canada, but it is not the exact same what you have been doing, but the employer is willing to hire you, you
Mm-hmm.
can still go ahead. There are some restrictions, but then we can talk about those things when we see your job offer, we see your job duties. We can guide you with those things, and you can always email us to check if that is something that meets the eligibility criteria.
Right. Right.
Um, Talking about the communities. Not everywhere in Alberta you can apply. There is a list of communities, and I can share that with you, so you can post it on the video so that people know which communities to apply under. But I will give you an example. So there is a community. It is called Peace River, and now I'm talking about how to find these jobs.
Yeah, how to
Okay.
find these jobs.
How to find these jobs.
Yeah,
Um, so for I'm giving you an example of a community which is called Peace River.
peace.
So every community has their own um, job board, okay, a website, a link on which they have to post the jobs. The employers post the jobs for which they're hiring. And so if you go to the Peace River job board, you will see a list of jobs for which the employers are currently hiring and that are eligible for the rural renewal stream.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
if you go ahead and send your resume, apply for those jobs, and the employer is willing to hire you, and the next step will be that they will get you an endorsement letter once they have given you the job offer. And
Okay.
with the help of that endorsement letter, which the employer gets from the community, you
Mm-hmm.
will be able to apply for provincial nomination regardless of where you are in the world.
Wow, that's great. So if I get you right, so this rural renewal stream, it's kind of targeting the rural areas, right? Where certain specific communities who are seeking to attract both skilled and unskilled labor into their community as a way of developing it. If I think is that the main concept or the main idea behind the rural renewal stream?
Absolutely, absolutely right. And as I mentioned, that with this stream, once you find the job and the employer gets the endorsement letter, you'll be applying for the provincial nomination through Alberta, AAIP, and
Mhm.
the processing time is about 6 months right now.
6 months. Okay.
And after 6 months, the province will issue you a nomination certificate. Based on that, you will be able to apply for your PR.
Right.
And that takes about 12 months. So, all in all, it can take about 18 months. And you may be coming to Canada directly as permanent resident if everything works out.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing because that's one thing that we've been talking about here on this channel. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and continue to learn from us and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be the first to know because most people assume that achieving the Canadian dream or the American dream, it happens overnight, right? So they are just in a hurry, like, hey, within 2 weeks, within a month, and we keep telling them that if you want the best route, that legitimate route, it takes time, right? So with what you're saying, with what Nav is talking about, it's not something that you are coming with a visit visa, you are not going to look for a job. No, you are coming into Canada already having a permanent residence, meaning you are legally allowed to stay and live your life without worrying about whether you get a job or not. So guys, you may think that 12 months, 80 months is a long process, but if you want the legitimate way that you can come with not yourself but your family, your children, your wife, then this is the best route to go. So I know you talked about some streams, right? So what are some of the other popular streams? Is it just the rural renewal stream, or there are other streams that other people can also take advantage of?
Yes, there are other streams as well. We can talk about the Alberta Tech Pathway. So, with the Alberta Tech Pathway, there is a list of tech jobs
Okay.
that if you get a job in one of those fields, and this is linked with Express Entry. So, if you have an Express Entry profile and you have a job offer in Alberta in the tech field, then you will be eligible to apply under the Tech Pathway as well. You just need a job offer from an Alberta employer. You can be even outside of Canada for this pathway as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the tech pathway, the beauty about this is that if you already have Express Entry profile, you only need a score of 300 or above to
300
be
above. Okay.
300 or above, then your chances of selection are high, as long as you have a Alberta job offer in the tech field. As I said, there's a list of jobs which are eligible, and once again, I can share that on the channel so that everyone knows which jobs are those. And if you have that job, you fill the form out, and then based on that, Alberta will send you a notification of interest. and you
Hmm.
send the application to them. Once again, the processing time is very, very similar to what I mentioned before, and you come
Right.
to Canada as permanent resident.
Oh,
And
that's great.
yes, so the tech pathway is very, very similar to the eligibility factors that I talked about. The
Mhm.
only thing is that this is linked to Express Entry Stream.
Right.
The most important thing to note about this tech pathway is that your Express Entry profile, if it is expiring in 3 months or less, then your chances of selection are low. So
Right.
if you already have an Express Entry profile and it's expiring soon, you can withdraw it and
Mhm.
create a new one before you apply into the tech pathway. So your selection chances are high.
Okay, all right. Now I know a lot of people would be wondering what the express entry is, right? But we have videos right here on this channel, and I promise you guys, Nav is going to come back, and we're going to have a whole session dedicated to express entry, and pretty much what the express entry does, in summary, and I know Nav can also add to it, is that it's a lottery system, right? And most people confuse that with the American DV lottery system. That is there are two different things. There is no point system within the American DV lottery system, and all you need in the American lottery system is just a high school diploma, and that's it. But with the express entry, you will need to create an account through the express entry platform, and you create your profile. So your profile would have to include your educational background, which you need to do what we call an ACA, right? Educational, credentialing assessment. So you need to add that. You need to add your English language or French language test scores, and that's what Nav talk about, the CLB, which is the Canadian language benchmark. And usually it's a CLB 4 or CLB 5. But if you are skilled, then you need the 4. So if you go in there, create your profile. If you are married, if your partner has also a bachelor's degree, a master's or PhD, all those ones are going to build up your points. Right? And if you have a job offer, it has a point that it builds for you. But we're not going to go into so much details. Nav is going to come back and he's going to talk to us about it. But before we transition into the other streams, right, there was a big news in Canada regarding the opportunity stream aspect of the AAIP that was cancelled. Would you want to throw a little bit more light on it? And is there a way that is it going to come back, or is something that people should forget about it?
To keep things simple, I will say it will come back. The
Okay.
reason is um, on the AAIP website, and once again, all the information we'll share today is whatever is official, whatever is from the government. Um, on their website, they have clearly mentioned that it is paused. It is not canceled.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So what they mean is now the allocation was for 4,950 applications for the AOS stream, the Alberta Opportunity Stream, but they have already received over 5,000 applications in the
Mm,
stream so far this year in the 2 months. So
wow.
I think that is one of the reasons that they had to pause it because there's already a lot of files they want to process them. The processing time is getting very high. So since it is a pause, it will come back,
Okay.
but it is also possible that there may be changes to the eligibility criteria.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that is what I'm expecting, and I think, and this is all my opinion at this point. I want to share. I think that they may base it, um, you know, um, occupations in demand is I think what is they're gonna look into.
Going to determine.
So yeah, so I think there's a lot of applications that they are receiving in related to only specific fields, and they want to focus on, what the employers want, what is in demand.
Mhm.
So I think that is why it is so important that when you come to study in Canada, don't just pick a program that is available to you.
Right. Yeah.
Pick the program which is in demand,
In demand.
which is
Okay.
going to, which is going to help you find a job that is in demand,
Yeah.
because then your peer chances is something that's going to help you with.
Right.
A lot of people, they select their program based on where their relatives or friends live, not based on what is going to help them with PR.
It's true.
So I
Okay.
think that is something we can talk about in
Yeah,
our
we
coming
can
segments.
talk about later. Yeah.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
Yeah, because
Um,
we have a video on this channel, right, that we've talked about, the courses that you need to study as an international student, courses that you need to avoid. I'm going to put the link in the description box, and Nav is also going to tell us so that you know that it is not just something that we talked about to do, say that, hey, don't do this course, but just because if your goal is to settle in Canada and have the Canadian dream, then you need to be strategic, right?
Absolutely.
Strategic about the province that you choose, because there are certain provinces Nav is going to share with us. There are certain provinces that, I would say they are, overpopulated, or, there are so many people within there already that they don't really need more immigrants coming in. So try to target places that it may be cold, but I don't think the cold or the snow will stop people from living the Canadian dream, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I want to, just to add to your point, when it comes to picking the right program, we talk about the rural stream that they need 12 months of work experience.
Hmm.
But if you study in, and this is so important to understand, if
Okay.
you study in a college which is already in the rural region,
Mm.
then you don't need any work experience.
Wow.
As soon as you finish your study, you can go for the rural regional stream. Isn't that
Wow,
amazing?
that is amazing. That is amazing. If you are watching, you're a student in Alberta, I mean, you probably may think about changing your program and go to Peace River or any of these communities that
Yeah,
now is going to share with us. Yeah,
yeah.
and then now before we transition to like the schools and the programs and all that, right? I know on the 1st of March there is a big opportunity coming because the research and the news all over in Canada, especially in Alberta, is that there is a particular sector or industry that have seen a rapid growth, and so they need people all over to come to Alberta and work within this industry. So can you share with us what is happening on the 1st of March as far as the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program is concerned?
Well, first thing I want to talk about is appreciate your knowledge on all these things that you have. I mean, the fact that you have the dates, the name of the program and everything. Sometimes we find it difficult to cope up with things, but you know the exact things. You know what you're talking about, and that is why I think your channel is so important for people. Who want to come to Canada because your knowledge, your understanding, and you educate yourself on these things. So kudos to you, my friend, on that.
Thank you very much.
Um, Now, let's talk about the stream that is coming up on March 1st, which is the Tourism and Hospitality Program. Uh, so, Alberta wants to focus on this industry because employers are saying that they're not able to find employees in the tourism and hospitality field in the province of Alberta, and they have been asking for the government for a very long time that we need to focus on this. We need more people, and so what that means is that if you have experience in the tourism and hospitality industry, then this is going to be a golden opportunity for you. This is something launching in a few days now. So far, what they have announced is that if you have 6 months of work experience in this field and you have a job offer from an Alberta employer, then you will be able to apply for the Alberta Tourism and Hospitality Program. The additional details they will be announcing on March 1st.
Right.
But for so far, all we know is that 6 months of work experience is what is going to be required.
Okay.
There is going to be a list of occupation that will be eligible under this program, which
Mhm.
we will share with you once the government officially announces them.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you
Yes.
very much. And we've talked about this on this channel, and people are asking when can you give me a list of the jobs? Can you give me a list of occupations? We say, hey, for now, there is not much information out there, but on the 1st of March, everything is going to be released, right? So we will talk about the schools and the pro because I know people are interested in that, right? But I want to find out from you now. You've been in this industry for 9 years. 9 years at the end of this month, right? We're just a week away. Going to be 9 years.
Yeah.
All these streams that you've talked about under the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program. Can people who are outside of Canada apply, and what are their chances?
That's a very good question. Simple answer, yes, they can apply. When it comes to chances, It all depends on, I want to say directly that it depends on your hard work. If you are willing to apply for jobs and reach out to the employers,
Right.
um, then there are chances. Now there are over 11,000 jobs right now in.
11,000 jobs.
Yes, if you go to the job bank website, this is where Canada lists all of the jobs
Hmm.
by employers who have either applied for LMIA or have already received LMIA.
Okay.
It is showing to be exact 11,268.
Wow.
Those jobs are on the website, and I'm going to share that website with you right now. The website is jobbank.gc.ca
I see it.
forward slash temporary dash foreign dash worker.
Okay.
So if you go on this website, and you can put the link on the video so people can search these jobs.
We already have a video that we talked about job bank, so
You,
we
you
I'll,
did.
I'll put the link here so people can.
Absolutely. So this link has the list of jobs, which are eligible for foreign workers.
Okay.
So you can be outside of Canada or inside Canada as a visitor. You can still apply for these jobs. So 11,268 opportunities as of today
Wow.
that you have. So all you have to do is go on this website, reach out to the employer, send them your resume, send them your cover letter, and then hopefully they will call you for an interview.
That's true. That's true.
So, so that is one.
Mm-hmm.
The second option is that all the communities that come under the Alberta rural stream have their own job board,
Okay.
and they have their own job listings, which are different than these jobs.
Okay.
So that means that there are additional opportunities if you want to look at the LMIA based jobs, or if you want to look at the rural renewal stream. The only thing is that you will have to do a lot of surfing online. You will have to stay online and go for these jobs based on your own experience.
Awesome.
We will definitely put that information in terms of the list of communities. They can reach out to you or reach out to me, and we can email or WhatsApp the
Right.
list of these communities.
Okay, so guys, stick with us. Nav is going to share his information, his email, his WhatsApp number because he works with talent all over the world, and he wants to focus and expand his work in Africa. That's because there are a lot of potentials in Africa, and I really like what you said, hard work, and that's what we're talking about on this channel. Now, people assume that they just apply one or two jobs and said the employer is not getting back to me, and so they're like, "Can you apply for me?" I say, "Hey, I can help you, but I would want you to be committed, right? Make a spreadsheet, apply to one or two jobs every day, or if you set a target that every week you're going to apply to three jobs, right? You make a spreadsheet so that you know the job that you've applied to, so you don't apply to it twice, right? Make a spreadsheet, build your cover letter, and build your CV, and don't make your CV dynamic because some people use one standard CV to apply for different types of jobs. And we talked about here on this channel that before you apply for any job, look at the job description, pick out some of the keywords from that job description, let it reflect on your CV because 11,000 jobs, trust me, there could be 100,000 people targeting this 11,000 job. So your CV, it goes through an electronic system. They call it application tracking system, ATS, right? So when it goes through, when those keywords that are highlighted in the job description can be found on your CV, then there's going to be a match. It's going to go for a human to review. That is when they're going to call you. So don't just say you apply for one job because your CV is not even matching it. So it just goes through the ATS and they keep rejecting you. So guys, it requires a lot of hard work. And Nav is also going to share with us, the level of support that he can also offer you as far as your Canadian dream is concerned.
You're
All
right. In terms of that hard work you mentioned, I want to add the point that I
right.
always say this to people who reach out to me. I always ask them, what is the difference between ordinary and extraordinary?
Okay.
Just doing
Extra,
something extra
extra. That's
to
right.
that ordinary. So
That's
if
right.
you're just applying for jobs online and think the employer will look at your resume and be like, oh wow, this is interesting, let me call them, it's not going to work that way. You're going to have to do something extra, and that extra can be having a professional resume, a proper cover letter, how you're going to benefit that employer, what you bring to the table. And if the employer thinks that is going to be a benefit to them, it is going to help them expand their business. Obviously, they will reach out to you because they need the right people too. And that is why the government has the temporary foreign worker program, because they want to attract talent. So if you think you have talent, you are hardworking, and you have the experience that Canada requires, Canada needs you.
Canada is calling. Canada is calling.
Canada is calling. So
And I guess this is also true for those that are with visit visas, right? So with a visit visa, I know usually when they come in is for 6 months. So what is going to be your advice? Because we've talked about it here on this channel. Some people assume that when they come, it's easy for them to get a job. But I mean, is there any practical steps that you've offered to people that have visit visas, so that they can be strategic and they don't find themselves stranded? Because it was in the news, in Ontario. I think there is a city called Mississauga or something, where there are like immigrant camps where people come and they are stranded. I don't know the situation in Alberta, because I know that Ontario is really choked. But what is going to be your advice? I know you don't do that, but there are some agents that promise people that, hey, go on a visit visa, you get a job, and then they go, they don't know anybody, they are stranded. What is going to be your advice for people that have visit visa that wants to switch from visit visa to a work permit?
the first thing, and it's a brilliant question, to be honest. The first thing is that people think that it is not legal to apply for a work permit if you are in Canada on a visitor visa. So I want to correct that notion that people have first. That you can definitely apply for a work permit as long as you have a valid visitor visa, and that policy is in effect right now, and it is going to expire at the end of February 2025. So
Okay.
until next year. So there's still one more year remaining for that policy. Will they extend it or not? We'll find it out next year. But at this point, if you do have a visitor visa, you come to Canada, you find an opportunity, you find an employer who's willing to give you a job, then it is absolutely legal to apply for a work permit from within Canada. You do not have to go to the border. You do not have to leave Canada. You can do that from within Canada.
Yeah, I mean, in the
And
past they used to do what we call flag polling, right? Where they'll leave the border like, hey, they are going to the US, and then they will just get to the US border and they'll have to give
there's
them something like, hey, you cannot get, then they will come back. But now all those things are a thing of the past.
Yeah, I mean, you can still go to the border. You can still go for flag polling, but if you do not want to see an officer, or go through a rigorous, process of 4 hours of questioning, if it comes
Right,
to that,
right.
you can just sit at your home, apply online, and then just wait for the result
That's good.
of that. So, and that is why it's easier. That is why a lot of people are actually applying online. And I think the advantage of the visitor visa, if you already have one or you're in the process of getting one, is that if you think you have talked to an employer, and they're willing to give you a job offer, but they want to meet you in person, you already have a visitor visa, you can come and talk to them and present yourself and tell them how you're going to benefit the company, and maybe the employer will also see a benefit by meeting you. Now, keep in mind that visitor visa is not meant for this process. Like if you're coming to Canada for a period of 6 months or less, you're coming here to visit family, tourism as such. But if you already have a visitor visa and you're in Canada, you can obviously meet employer
You can.
and see if they're willing to give you a job offer, because it is legal until February 28, 2025,
Great.
to convert visitor to work permit.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you are hitting home all the points that we're talking about on this channel, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Let us grow our community, and Nav is going to share his information or his details very soon, and also talk about the schools, because I know people are anxious. They want to know what schools are in Alberta that can give them advantage, what program, what courses. But the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, right? Is it free to apply, or are there processing fees? Do people need to show proof of funds, or there are some of the streams that you don't need to show proof of funds before you can apply?
Right. So it depends. So the first thing, let's talk about the colleges that are eligible. So there's a number of colleges that participate in this program, but you just have to pick the right program.
Okay.
If we talk about the Alberta Opportunity Stream, which is paused as of now. But whenever it reopens, and if it has the same criteria in terms of the education requirements,
Mhm.
then if you are going to complete a 1 year certificate program or a non-credit program, then you will not be eligible.
Right. Is it
But
due to the new changes that have come up in the education, or is
actually, these changes were effective April 1st, 2019.
oh, okay? So they've been there
So since
before.
then,
Okay.
yes. So, but still, some students, I still meet people in my office. They come, it's 2024, and they pick the wrong program. And then when they come to Canada, they find out that these programs were not eligible. Now they have spent 15,000, 18,000 on their study, and realize that they will not be able to apply for their PNP because of the wrong selection of the program.
Okay.
And I think maybe we can focus on our next episode on
Right.
this, on
Yeah.
which programs to pick.
Definitely.
But I keep on saying, I mean, if you are watching us right now and you have picked a program, you're coming to Canada, and you're not sure if it's the right program to apply for PR in the future, you can email us now. We can check for you before you even enter Canada so that you don't waste your $20,000.
Yeah, yeah, guys. So because studying in Canada is expensive, right? And there are scholarship opportunities, but it's limited. So before you make a move, contact Nav at Malta Immigration. The email is going to be displayed on the screen, or you can send him a WhatsApp, and he's happy to do a consultation with you and just provide you that guidance so that your life in Canada is going to be smooth. So now, do you want to talk to us about some people are talking about colleges that are affordable versus those that are expensive? Do you have like a list? I know we're going to talk about in our next episode, but do you have some schools in Alberta that, based on your experience, you would recommend for people that are coming to study?
The first and foremost thing will be the program. If you pick the right program, then you can come anywhere in the province.
Right. Okay.
Okay. However, if your target is going to be the rural renewal stream, then some of the colleges that are in that category, for example, there is Keanu College in Fort McMurray, there is Medicine Hat College, there is Lethbridge College, Grand Prairie College, to name some off the top of my head right now. That these are the ones that you can study in. But once again, it is going to be so important that you have to pick the program based on your previous studies that you have completed in your home country, and then also base it on what are the occupations in demand in the province you're going to, and what is their provincial nominee program, so that you can make the right selection, and you don't find out after 2 years of completing your study, or 3 years, that oh, I picked the wrong program, and how do I apply for PR? And this is one of the main reasons that when students come to Canada,
Hmm.
believe it or not, by people come here to my office, they just landed in Canada 2 days ago or 2 weeks ago,
Right.
and then they find out, oh, I'm not going to be able to apply for PR. And then they come to the office, they want us to change the college for them, but by now the college programs are already waitlisted because they're full. They can't even change now. So they will be studying in a program which is not going to help them with PR,
Yeah. So they
and
they,
they're
they are
losing
stuck.
trust.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So Nav is going to come back, like I said, and he's going to show us the secret, right? Because you need to know that not all schools qualifies for the PGWP, right? That's the post graduation work permit, and it's just a simple secret, but we are not talking about that today. He's going to come back and he's going to share with us. So can you, going back to the question that I asked earlier on, how much is the processing fee for the AA?
Alberta, yeah, absolutely. For AAIP, the government fees is $500. That is what they charge for the PNP program, and you pay that fee when you submit your application to them. The processing time, as I said, is about 5 to 6 months on an average. They are currently working on the applications which were submitted last year in September. So the results are coming on my channel. I also share about our success that some
See it
of our
every time,
clients.
and I'm so excited. I'm like, wow, Nav,
Yeah,
you did a great job. Thank you.
yeah. So we have a lot of clients who come as visitors, or they come directly as permanent residents, and we're happy that we're able to unite families in Canada. And sometimes it is a very, very emotional moment. Sometimes people meet their family after like years and years,
Wow, wow.
and it is a wonderful achievement that that when they come and they meet us and they tell us their stories, the struggles and everything, Some of them just are not able to get together because they didn't have the right guidance.
That's true.
As you mentioned, people just present the shortcuts,
Yeah,
but they are not the correct pathways, and
that's
then
right.
they get stuck in the system. So it is so important that don't look at the processing times, look at the right pathway.
Pathway
Is
for.
it the correct pathway for you? If
Mhm.
it is correct, but it's slow, just go that route. If someone tells you you're gonna, get your PR in 2 weeks or 2 months, and you don't even have to do anything, you don't need any experience. I have heard stories.
Yeah.
Just checking on the government website. Even what I am telling you today, if you have any questions about it, send me an email. If you're not clear about something, send me an email. And you can always check this information, verify this information on the Government of Alberta website as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Nav. I know you're a busy man, with so many clients and family. But I just before we go, before you share your address, before you share your email address, your contact details, based on what the trends, the labor market trends in Alberta right now, can you give us, let's say, the top three industries that are in demand when it comes to the occupations or the job
I,
availabilities? Yeah.
yeah, I think the focus can be on tourism, hospitality. That is why there's a new stream coming, and
Okay.
then construction and agriculture.
Okay. Wow. So construction, agriculture, and then the tourism and the hospitality industry. Okay. So
Right.
guys, if you're in any of these fields and you are already in Canada, I'll strongly encourage you to relocate because I mean personally, I'm not so familiar with a lot of provinces in Canada, but I know that Ontario. I mean, I will not recommend Ontario for anybody, unless maybe you are going to rural Ontario. But most people go and they go to Toronto because that is where a lot of immigrants are. Right? It's just like when it comes to the US, you hear of New York, you hear of New Jersey. It is so concentrated, and people don't want to go to the other places like Saskatchewan or Alberta and Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Labrador, Prince Edward Islands. These are places that are ripe because they don't have a lot of people there and they need so many people. So yeah.
And the highest migration of population in Canada, as per Stats Canada website,
Mhm.
over 400% was in Alberta for last year.
Wow.
So a
Wow.
lot of people are moving to this province, and
Okay, that's good.
yes,
Pretty good.
and that could be our, the PR program. That could be that the houses are much less expensive
In Alberta?
in Alberta
Okay.
compared to Ontario and BC.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that the tax, we only have 5% tax in Alberta, whereas in Ontario and BC it's 13%. So
Wow.
8% less. So there are benefits of moving to Alberta.
Guys,
But
Alberta is calling. Canada is calling.
Alberta is calling.
So
Alberta is
don't
calling.
just go to any province. Move to Alberta and Nav is going to help you out. So Nav, any last words and also if you can share how can people find you? Where can people find you?
Absolutely. So my business name is Multi Immigration Services Canada, which you can Google. Website is multiimmigration.com. My email is info@multiimmigration.com.
Mhm.
WhatsApp number is 780-297-8090.
Okay.
And if you have any questions about, I mean, we talked about Alberta only because immigration is such a vast field. It is not easy to talk about everything. Even if we talk about, even if we talk the whole day, it's not
Right.
possible to cover everything. So we will talk about other streams, other PNP programs, study visa, express entry, and we would like to hear from you. So put your questions in the comments, and based on your comments, we'll base our next video on that. What do you want to know about, so that
Mhm.
we can focus on those things and educate you on those immigration programs.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And as I said, Nav is registered and licensed, as you can see on the screen. Don't forget to put your questions because we'd like to hear from you. And we're going to sample the questions and the questions that we group them and we see, okay, people want to learn more about, the study route or express entry. Then I'm going to get Nav back. And, next time, if he's available, we can even come on live stream, right? Where we're going to be interacting, with you, our community. So don't forget to subscribe and we're definitely going to come your way again next time. And we hope the next time that we are here, you've started to implement all the golden nuggets that Nav shared, and you are going to begin on your Canadian dream. So if you're a visitor in Canada, make sure you contact Nav, and he'll be able to guide you on the right steps to take to ensure that you also switch from visa to work permit, and eventually work permit to PR. So thank you very much, Nav. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.